Previously, the game started with a flashback as the DM explained exactly what information Nothram found while searching the archive in the Underdark. Then it jumped to the present, where everyone was gathered in the home of Arian's sister. Aerith explained that her birth name was Finwë, and showed the group the scars on her thighs from where her parents had tortured her in the past. She didn't know how her parents rose to power, as only her oldest sister was alive back then, but she was certain the answer wasn't good. She also didn't know which of her siblings might be on her side, as they weren't allowed to get to know each other very well growing up. The group agreed that going after Aerith's parents needed to happen, but they couldn't just rush in blindly like they usually did. Iridian realized that Aerith's parents clearly thought she should be able to use her magic to travel back to the Feywild, meaning they didn't know about her rogue training, so they weren't spying on her all the time, only some of it. Meanwhile, Arian explored the house and found more proof that his nephew took after him when it came to magic. The group eventually headed out, with Arian and Aerith setting off on their own to do some shopping before meeting the others at Cal's home. After a few hours, Cal arrived and told the group that there were elven visitors at several of their loved ones' homes, but no one else was taken, as they'd already left with the Land of Ravens when their unexpected guest arrived. Zalor used magic so that the group was protected from scrying. Then he explained some of the information that he and Ceres had discovered in the archive. Orcus was trying to find the true name of the Matron of Ravens, and it might have something to do with Ember's kidnapping, although they couldn't rule out her Aasimar heritage either. They'd also found not only the level of the abyss where Orcus was, but the name of the specific city. Iridian used sending to ask Malaya to meet them in Amon, while Zalor used contact other plane to get some more questions answered. He found out that Aerith's parents had spies following Nothram, that Ember was currently conscious, that the wand of Orcus was where they left it, that Zaltar's patron was a demon, specifically Gratz, one of Orcus's biggest rivals, who was also possibly the same demon that the evil sentient sword Zalor recently gave up was connected to. He then cast the spell again, almost failing to save this second time, and found out that it was unclear whether Aerith's parents had ties to Gratz as well. The group hadn't directly come across any of Aerith's parents' spies. Aerith's oldest sister might be willing to help her go up against their parents. Her parents had other hostages connected to Nothram, and Katara was not among those hostages. Later, Iridian headed to Ceres's room, as she'd asked him to do if he had any magic left. He sent a message to Maya for her, telling her to keep her eyes open for elves and that Ceres would be very disappointed in her if she'd been kidnapped. Maya said that she was fine and that she'd disappear for a while, just to be safe. Ceres then advised Iridian that he might want to check in on Shema. As he left, Arian and Aerith immediately showed up to ask how Ceres was doing, considering she'd been dead a few weeks earlier. Then they finally asked about her backstory. Ceres explained that she grew up in a small fishing village and got tired of living in the shadow of an older sister who died before she was even born. She left home almost 30 years earlier and never looked back. Aerith asked if Ceres would teach her some more rogue stuff, and Ceres agreed. Ceres also recommended that Aerith let someone else be the one to kill her parents, but if she really wanted to do it herself, she couldn't hesitate for even an instant or it would get her killed. Once they left, Ceres got another knock on her door, this time from Gray, because apparently yours truly was very popular last game. Gray asked Ceres if she'd be willing to go to a place called The Spot with her. It was located on a street called Beeline and appeared to be a tea shop. Gray spoke to the host, a black and white tabaxi named Henry, and asked where she could find Sir Falster. After giving the password of Stay Turned, Gray and Ceres were directed downstairs to a secret nightclub. Sir Falster, the creator of the Turnt Oath that Gray followed as a paladin, was happy to give them free drinks. And so Ceres and Gray enjoyed a fun night at the Beeline Spot. I'll pause for a moment so everyone has time to groan at the pun. The next morning, everyone save for Gray headed to the Cloudtop District to visit Madame Elda, who turned out to be a green-skinned Aasimar dressed in all green who was drinking absinthe. Needless to say, she was very happy to see Iridian. Arian turned on the charm, and the group settled in to discuss what they were going to buy. And that's where we left off.